I'd like to start this show off with a quote. This is from New York Jets running back Breece Hall. Teams shoot themselves in the foot, then we come back and shoot ourselves in the head. And folks, that's just my professional team. We're here to talk about the Pitt Panthers.
First down, goes to the sidelines, has a man wide open. It's Devin Shire.
Those moments, it reminds me of last year in the Garden against St. John. And guys just stepped up. Blake hits a what the hell three. You know, we're like, what are you doing? And he's done that all year.
Klicka out to Bizzario. It's over. The Pitt Panthers have upset Wisconsin. Anybody if he hits his field goal. Up and got it. Sauls does it again.
That's a very applicable quote from the NFL running back. I feel you, Bruce. I feel you.
It's just so awesome that all of my teams are like this. Not to start off the show with just talking about me, but I got Pitt, I got the Jets. The Yankees are probably going to lose to the Red Sox, get swept out of the playoffs. The Avalanche do this too. I don't know. It's a fun place that we live in. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Simplify. I'm your host, Zach Kaminsky. I'm joined, as always, by my two co-hosts, Mason Kling and Ian Labatch. Ian, how are we doing tonight?
I wish we were sitting here after a win, but, we can't always get what we want, so we're back.
Oh, I'm just seeing the photo now that you sent in the group chat. That's going to be the cover art for this week's episode. That's a good one. Kind of sums up the whole week as a whole. Mason, how we doing?
Meh. I feel apathetic.
I kind of feel dead inside. This is just to, obviously everyone knows Pitt loses to Louisville 34-27 at home. They once again blow a 2-score lead in the second half, and it just feels like, before we even get to anything specific, this feels like the end of everything here. It feels like this team is falling apart at the wheels. This whole coaching staff is kind of undoing itself. It feels like this is over, and everyone kind of knows it. But on the other hand, it's like, everyone kind of feels that, and also it's like, it was also a 1-score game, and the frustrating thing about this team is that, hey, they're good enough to like accidentally stay in the game. It's just that they don't, because they're stupid.
Yeah, not only did we saw two multiple score blown leads in this game.
That's right.
That was fun. That just makes it twice as bad. They get me out, they pull me back in, and that's why I think it just sucks so much. My hopes are a goddamn roller coaster.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, you both touched on it, but like, it's like you feel like you're like, I don't want to say you're close because like, of course you lose both games, but you get like this false sense of security that like you look like a decent team. Like that first quarter, they looked amazing. I mean, Eli leads a drive, you get the pick. Like defense doesn't look good. Miller Moss looks like he's in his own head. Like you just feel like you're very close, and then you're just not there for 4 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, it's to say that this team is not strung together 4 solid quarters at a time yet is kind of an understatement. Like, I don't even know kind of where to start with this. I mean, I think honestly where I want to start is I think that it was said multiple times in the broadcast, like, hey, Pat Narduzzi doesn't care about time possession, he just cares about scoring. I'm starting to care about time possession. The number of plays ran in this game, this is according to Game on Paper, is Louisville had 99 and Pitt had 66. That is they ran 1.5 plays for every one of our plays. It kind of feels like we're just against Power 5 competition. We're following the same script of, hey, we're gonna kind of score on accident because we're talented. We can hit the chunk plays. Our offense is terrible on a down to down basis, and I'll kind of get to that. I have another quote for everybody. And because we keep shooting ourselves in the foot on offense, we just cannot sustain any more than maybe we don't convert any third downs, we don't sustain any drives. The defense it's gonna fall apart when you get 100 plays running against you and you're on the field. I mean, what's the time possession score? I don't know if I have that. Oh, does anyone have the time possession handy? Because I don't think this website has it, which is annoying.
I don't have that handy, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about that I heard at the radio show today, Rasheem Biles played 109 plays. Like, first of all, why is he on special teams that much? Is like your like all-American linebacker. Um, but like I understand he's a really good athlete and like I think he's amazing. But like to ask anyone to do that in football is insane.
Yeah. Zach, similar ratio to the plays 39 minutes and 22 seconds of possession for them to our 20 minutes and 38 seconds.
I mean, they almost doubled us up on time possession. It's just not going to work. And like it's just the same stuff that we saw 2 weeks ago in West Virginia. And frankly, it's just kind of stuff building up that you see every year. And you're just like, well, what's the point now? The team is always just killing themselves with penalties, dumb rock-headed plays, whether it's from offense or defense. Um, the defense, it'll work for a little bit, and then the gripe I have with the defense, they keep blitzing when it doesn't work, and then Cade Bell is the one thing on this team, like other than like Rasheem Biles, shout out to him, had a great game. He was awesome. That's like, Blue Hicks, awesome game. Shout out those guys. Cade Bell is one of the more frustrating aspects of this team because he is a fantastic pass game coordinator. Eli throws for 225, has 2 touchdowns. It can really sling it down the field, but the plays don't make sense sometimes. The like Eli still looks like an idiot, which is on Cade Bell. He and this is something they have to work on. And I think that this has to do with Eli's mechanics or something. But Eli, I swear to God, has the most passes batted down at the line of scrimmage I see in the entirety of college football. You muted yourself.
Oh, sorry. He had 4 batted passes and a half. I haven't seen someone get 4 balls batted down at the line in an entire game in a while. Like, I think, is he throwing sidearm?
It's not even like sidearm. Like he's clearly like throwing. I think he just has like a low throwing angle because like his passes just travel like at the top of his guy's head. I don't know what's up with it, but it just seems that like it's just like I think it has to do something with his throwing motion. I have to go like look at it, but I this is just like a feeling I have. But to go back to the offense more generally, this is the quote I wanted to give. This is from Louisville, DC, Ron English on Pittsburgh. I told our guys not to give up the chunk play. They'll self-destruct before the end zone, so don't give up the chunk play. And wouldn't you know it, Pitt self-destructed twice in this game near the end zone. The Malachi Thomas drop on the first drive, which led to an easy 7 turning into 3, and then the ill-fated running back leak pass where I think the play design was correct. Eli just throws up a lollipop after a huge chunk play, and they get a turnover in the red zone, and I think that was in the second half, I want to say. So it would have been that was in the early third quarters. They would have had a second half score until oh god, this is worse than I remember because their second half drives go punt, interception, downs, interception, downs, interception. So this was maybe the worst second half I've ever seen too. And once again, Cade Bell doesn't run the ball, even though I think Goff is averaging like 6 yards a carry in this game. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. Jakari Turns are averaging 6 yards a carry, and we only gave them 12 carries the whole game. So something with that.
I think like the biggest thing is like you look at Cade Bell's offense, and I think when you hit a big chunk play, right, and this might just I mean I'm no play caller, right, but like the Pitt always runs the line, runs hurry up, like you're on the 3 yard line after that Blue Hicks chunk play. Like, in what world do you not try and run the ball on a 1st and goal from like the 3.5? Like, I don't necessarily hate the play call. Like, I know like you said you like the play call. I think like why do you not? I think Cade Bell like is making the game too hard for Eli.
I don't know if I like the play call. I think that the play design is fine because they got what they want, right? They got two rushers coming in and the back leaks out. Unfortunately, Eli just throws a lollipop that stays in the air too long and gets picked off. I completely agree with you that he's overcomplicating calling the game for himself. He thinks he has to have this crazy passing offense. He just ignores the run game. Like you said, if I have a huge chunk play and I've got the ball in the 3, the first thing I'm doing is running. If I'm running to the line, I'm trying to snap the ball and run it to just try and catch these guys gassed. Like that is, I'm just some schmuck on the couch, so I don't know shit. But that's just like widely accepted football philosophy. Am I going crazy with that statement?
I don't think. I mean, like essentially, like I just feel like traditional football from what I always think about, like watching the Steelers a ton, so it's not great, but like you run the ball on 1st down to make the game easier for you. I think when I watch Pitt play a ton, they're trying to get people. They're trying to get a chunk play on 1st down, which essentially kills your drive because they're in 3rd and long every time we watch them. Like I don't know if you have it handy, but like Pitt's like average 3rd down distance has to be like 7 or 8 yards.
I think I can figure that out. I'm trying to figure out late downs. Pitt's average distance on late downs, that's 3rd and 4th down, 5.43 yards in this game. Unfortunately, on late downs, they had a 8% success rate. I believe they converted 1/3 down the entire game, zero while Eli was in. We'll get to him getting benched later, but this is also another thing that's really bad at this offense, that they are just unable to convert a 3rd down. And now, granted, they go forward on 4th a lot, and that's why they have a lot of late down attempts. But it, it, they were 0 for on 3rd downs in this game until the 4th quarter. You're not going to win. That's just, it's not going to happen. And when you're 0 for, like I said earlier, when you're 0 for on 3rd downs, it doesn't matter how good your defense has been all day. It doesn't matter that Rasheem Biles has housed every pick he's gotten as a college athlete. You're gonna lose. They almost ran 100 plays on you. It's not gonna work.
What's super frustrating about, I mean, a lot of these things you guys are saying, but despite all this, I feel like we had an opportunity to make this Louisville team quit. I know the first half wasn't pretty, right? That first draft or that first drive, if that's a touchdown, if that weird punt non-penalty penalty thing that ended up giving them the ball on like the 3 yard line doesn't happen, this could be like a 24-point game, 20, almost 30-point game going into half. And then look, man, I know we blew it. We still could have blown it, but like that's quitting territory. That's where Louisville says, all right, let's, try to get out of here, make it a little bit closer. Like we had so many opportunities to just put them out and couldn't.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I don't know. I think it just says more about this team, right? Because like you said, yeah, ugly first half, but then in the second half, like they come out, okay, they go 3 and out and punt. Then they have the goal line interception, and then they turn the ball over on downs at like the Louisville 40-ish, and that's where they just fall apart. Like I think frankly after that turnover on downs, the team just quit. They were just like they were not interested in playing anymore. They were just like we're done, this isn't working. I think it says a lot about this team. Like they just don't know how to close out a game at all, and more than that, I think they just don't know how to play with a lead. Like all the big wins of the Cade Bell era um, are come from behind wins. When you're talking about wins that they had a lead in, it was UNC, which is probably the only really complete game they've played in these last year and a half. Cal, where they were lucky to escape with a win because
What's his
uh,
name missed the kick.
the kid missed the kick. Ryan Coe missed the kick for Cal, and then Syracuse they just had 5 picks. Like the defense just won that game. You'll remember that the Clemson game, they end up losing that with a lead down the stretch. Um, Toledo, I think that a lead, but I don't really count that one. But like they don't know how to play with a lead, and where I land on this is that it's just the fault of the staff. You know, the staff doesn't have this team ready to play with a lead or play with an edge, or really just like the offense can't do anything except get the big chunk play. And when it comes down to it, man, I'm ready to say it. I'm ready to fire everybody. I'm ready to do it. I don't know if you
Don't.
guys agree with me, but
And
I sure as hell am not going to stop you.
I I don't know if there's enough money. Like you just I don't know. In today's college football, I mean, I just don't know where the money's coming to get rid of some of these things. So
yeah. So I mean, if we kind of hinted at it last episode, but so let me. So Dues' salary is something like 6.7 million. 5 years left on the $6.7 million a year. That is, I think, top 30 nationally in college football, which is fucking crazy. I don't know the fucking money that they were throwing around in like the late 2010s or early 2020s. Crazy. So if you fire him after this year, assuming I don't know if the salary goes up after. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows because Pennsylvania's FOIA laws are weird. He's got about what I would guess is $33 million left on his deal. If we're going to assume that your buyout is about 80% of that, you're going to need a cool $27 million to just get rid of your head coach for buyout purposes. I don't. And now we don't know what the buyout is. That is just an estimate, right? It's reportedly high. No one knows what the number is. All I'm going to say is that, hey, if you win the Mega Millions and you're a Pitt fan, you have the number in front of you. You know what it's going to take. You can get your name on something if you do this, man. You can do that shit and just be like, hey, put my name on this and fire the coach.
the next coach can be the Zach Kaminsky class of 20. I don't know what
I
year
don't know if I would have
graduated.
to outbid Bickle for it though. Um, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't want to put my name on that. That's I was just kidding. No, I mean, it just seems like I said when I opened this, it just seems like this whole thing is done for. It's over. This is the same Pitt team we've seen every year except for 2021, which was just a conflagration of a conflagration of like your super senior quarterback. Jordan Addison was still there. You had Brennan Marion on staff who made the Whipple offense good. Everyone knows that. Um, like outside of this is what it's been. And my takeaways from this game is that unless they can fix the third down problems and the um like three and out problems, they're not going to win any more games. That's where I'm at with this. They might beat Stanford, I guess.
Oh, did we lose again?
Uh, he's looking a little choppy.
I don't even see him at all. Yeah. Yeah.
He dropped. Okay, we will. Okay, we'll wait for him. Um,
I think I'm back.
you are back. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll finish off my thoughts with a quote from a friend of the pod, Patrick Mayhorn, who said that Pitt is stupid in a dangerous way, and most of the time that means we're stupid in the fact that we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot. We're probably just stupidly good enough to beat one of the teams left on our schedule that's like better than us. I wouldn't count on it, but they have enough like dumb luck and talent to make it happen. It's just that everything else about the team is stupid. We make mistakes on offense and defense. The play calling is stupid. And also they're just not ready to take a punch at all. I don't know. Fire everybody. That's all I got to say.
The rest of our schedule is brutal, which also sucks. If we can't beat Boston College this week, that's we got a tough November. So
Uh, yeah, there's a path to 6 through Boston College, Syracuse, NC State, and Stanford. The other 4 games at Florida State, home for Notre Dame, at Georgia Tech, and home for Miami. I have no comment on those games. That is you're gonna have to get stupid and lucky to win any one of those 4. Maybe not Florida State. You might be able to. They're dumb too, but the last 3, you're gonna have a game where you have your weaponized stupidity go towards the other team and not towards us.
You just gotta charge the death beam and beat someone you shouldn't. It happens every year, but not really last year. But
I don't know, dude. I don't know if we don't have 6 wins by the end of that Stanford game, I don't
you're
think
gonna
we're going. I
you're
don't
gonna have
think
to
we're
pull me
going
from the
bowling.
Allegheny. Like if we don't have 6 from by Stanford,
I mean, listen. Uh, after what this team has put on paper thus far, I don't think anything's guaranteed.
Yeah, I honestly think that 6 by Stanford is a best case scenario because that means you beat the 4 teams that are probably worse than you and you didn't shoot yourself in the foot against any of them. Because that's really like on paper, you can probably beat those 4 teams and have a chance against Florida State, who we'll talk about later, who had a terrible week last Friday night. But when you take this team off paper, and games aren't played on paper; they're played on grass. Um, when you put this team on grass, they take a 44, they put it in their mouth, and then they blow their brains out on the 40-yard line. So, like Mason said, nothing's guaranteed because we're prone to just die and do all the things associated with that.
do we want to get to
Six and
the Eli stuff?
Yes. I do want to talk about Eli getting benched late in this game, though. If anything else, if nothing else, I think that was the sign of waving the white flag in this game because Cole Gonzalez, as he showed, is not a particularly effective thrower, quarterback, or anything like that. Um, and as bad as Eli was, he probably still gives you the best chance to win that game, even if he's been awful and threw 2 picks. He gives you a better chance to win than Mason or Cole Gonzalez, and I think that benching him late in the game only serves to hurt his confidence and just wave the white flag and say we're trying to get out of here. And I think that a Louisville player, I want to say I had this pulled up, but D'Angelo Hutchinson said, "Yeah, Pitt didn't want to play anymore after a bunch of stops in the second half," and I think that that's right. And I think that it showed it when Eli got benched and pulled for Cole Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't see I didn't see the benefit in benching him in the slightest. If you bench him and then go back to him, it's like, well, you kind of shot his confidence, which it was probably already busted. But like, unless there's an injury, like you essentially have opened up like a whole nother like quarterback controversy. I think. Well, I mean, Cole sucks. I think like you're essentially looking at like, are you willing to burn the red shirt on Mason at this point if you bench him? Because
The only reason that they should be able to be willing to burn that red shirt is if Eli gets hurt. Like end of story there. Like he's a true freshman, and no matter how good I think he is as a quarterback, and I think he does have some legitimate arm talent and legitimate like arm strength. He's a true freshman. He's not going to be better mentally than Eli Holstein with an IQ of 14. It's not going to work. And like you said, opening yourself up to that, especially like something about the Pittsburgh Panthers fan base is they're always clamoring for the next quarterback. You've just put blood in the water, and you've got the sharks in the fan base chomping for the next quarterback for them to throw to the meat grinder.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I guess I get your point with Mason because with how Pitt fans work, Mason can come out, throw an interception on his first drive as a true freshman, and people will be calling for Bo Jackson to get some reps. It's like
Yeah.
people have no idea, like they have no patience when it comes to Pitt football, and like I don't necessarily blame them with the track record in the past couple seasons. However, you're just like murdering the confidence of whoever you have there. And I just think this goes back to like the very poor management of quarterbacks that we've had since Kenny Pickett. Uh, and I don't want to. We don't necessarily have to open up that can of worms if we don't want to. But it's just there's a history of this not working.
There's a history of this not working. A book about Pitt football. I think that's that's where we're gonna leave off on that game. I don't really have anything else to add. Like Mason, you kind of just hit the nail on the head when we opened up the show. I'm apathetic. I feel dead inside. This is just what happens.
Boston
I really
College
will say.
this week, baby.
I don't. We're not even gonna preview Boston College. The Boston College preview is if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, they probably win. Unfortunately, they're probably going to unload an entire clip. Um,
If they
what is
don't
that
beat
face?
Boston College, I will
Did
not be
that Yankees game
podcasting
up?
next week.
Are the Yankees winning or
Yes,
losing?
they're winning. Austin Wells.
It's a 4-3 game. I think they're going to lose this one somehow.
David Bednar's blowing this save. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no shit. It's a Yankee game against the Red Sox in the postseason. Um, well, anyway, enough of that slop. Boston College, best of luck to you. If we don't win that game, I propose we just go full time volleyball podcast. Any objections to that?
Well, it's definitely not basketball if we want to touch on that before we go to next week.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Why don't you grace us with that news, Ian?
So what is this, like the fourth straight season that we've had an early exit to the Pitt basketball program to either an
Well,
injury or an
so that it's
arrest?
funny you mentioned that because friend of the show, Dom Campbell, posted something to this effect. So a very funny way to put this: injuries slash arrests under Pitt basketball head coach Jeff Capel. 2019, Kenny Chukwuka. 2020, John Hughley gets suspended. 2021, Ithiel Horton gets suspended. 2022, Hughley is injured. Dior Johnson is suspended. 2023, Papa Conte is injured. 2024, Amsel is injured. And then 2025, who just got put on indefinite injury with a, quote, medical condition.
Deshaun Jackson. So that means 40 more minutes to Cam Corrin.
It's we thought we were safe from major Cam Corrin minutes at the 5. And we were frankly fools to expect
What was it better
anything.
to have Cam Corrin moments at the 5 than Cam Corrin minutes at the 4? I mean, that's more like appalling to me. You see a guy who can't guard centers at the power 4 level, and then you're gonna move him to guard more athletic wings at the power 4. Like, I don't know. That was just insane to me. But that's my rant.
It's not good. It's not a good situation to be in. Yeah. So yeah, you know, Pitt basketball is a program you can set your watch to. There's always going to be something happening in the preseason that ruins everything. Do you want to shout out volleyball though? They got 2 straight wins against top 15 SMU. Looks like they're back into form. They are now number 4 in the country, or number 5, I think. Is it 5 or 4?
Did they stick at 5? I feel like
I
people
think
are
they stick.
upset because aren't we under Kentucky and we beat them?
That's right. They're sticking at 5. They're under Stanford, who has less top 25 wins than us, and also Kentucky at the 3, who we swept. The AVCA poll is a random number generator.
Oh, I want to shout
I do
out. I
want-
want to shout out Pitt fans. The game on Friday sold out. All student tickets are gone. There's roughly 100 tickets left for the game on Sunday, and that is sold out. So Pitt does have a good team in the city limits. Just plays at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
Well, I think that goes to show too that we get a lot of complaints about the stadium not being filled up for football games. If you put a good product out, it will help with attendance.
Yeah, they funny enough, they were honoring I think Olivia Babcock for her Player of the Year award at the game this Saturday. So it actually was nice to see a good team on that field for the first time in 4 years. But I'm getting back into football. That's enough. Mason, you're right. Pitt volleyball, they're awesome. Everyone shows out. The Pete was packed again for the SMU match. Like it's a good time in the Fits. If you haven't been, go. I do want to talk about the rest of Week 5 though, because it was a pretty. I'll say it was good that it was a fun week of college football because there's other like bad games on. It would have been a miserable Saturday. But I want to start first on the weeknight. Number 8 Florida State losing in double overtime to Virginia, 46-38 in Charlottesville. We got to start with this. That was the most insane field storming I've ever seen.
Yeah,
However,
that
no, you go, Mason. I have to find the tweet.
um it was instant. Like I've never seen a school. Normally they have the security guards who are like faking people to stop from storming, and they do it anyway. I feel like all the security guards are like, "Hey guys, come down on the field. Come on, get ready. We're about to do this."
Dude, I
Um,
was I was I was seeing that. Like I was like I was watching back the replay of the field storming the next day, and I didn't notice at the time, but they had the student section, which this is also a problem with Virginia Stadium because there's like think about normal field stormings. There's like usually some sort of hurdle you have to clear. You have to like drop down onto the field, or you have to like go through some sort of like hedge in the SEC. At Virginia, it's just a big hill that you just goes right into the field, and then they let everybody onto the sidelines. There were students making like a U shape around the end zone. So as soon as he drops that pass on fourth down, it's their shot out of a cannon. It is you'll never see anything like it at another stadium because no other stadium is built like that to have that kind of field storming.
yeah. Did you see a bunch of people where it was kind of controversial that like game was over, Castellanos was on the field, and then like immediately after the game was over, he had a Virginia fan in his face giving him the double birds. And then they
That's
talked
so
about
funny.
it on the Big Noon Kickoff. What Portnoy was like, if you do that, you should be able to get punched in the face. And I kind of agree with that take.
I don't hate the take, but also it's like it's a dumb college kid. It's like of course they're gonna go by and hit the drive by bird. Like it's gonna like it's just a legendary. First off, one of the greatest drive-bys we've seen in recent years. If he gets rocked, he deserves it, but it's also so funny that I'm not going to say don't do it because I love seeing that.
I mean, I think like you can do it as a college kid, but like if you get popped in the mouth, like you can't be upset about it, right? It's like the
Yes.
consequences of my own actions. Like that guy can't get punched by Tommy Castellanos and then go sue him. Like that's the thing. It's probably going to be some rich kid, hedge fund frat dude who gets punched in the mouth. He's going to try and sue the college athlete, and it's like, well, you're technically trespassing on a field, and you're like, I don't know. I just know we're going to get one of these years if this keeps happening. So
I
Well,
think you said that better than I did, Ian. I agree with that. Like we can still do that. That's fine, but you can't be mad about it when there are repercussions.
yeah, I
I'll be
mean,
damned. The Yankees won.
Bednar closed it out. He didn't choke.
He didn't choke it. Yeah, Ian, you put it perfectly. If he gets rocked there, yeah, he flips somebody off after a double overtime loss. It's an emotional game. I mean, to talk about it was actually a fucking fantastic game. I think Virginia looked really cool. They look to be like a really good running team. Florida State has a very bad defense and also made a ton of mistakes early. That's why, honestly, it's why they lost. You know, they had like a fumble, missed field goal, interception, like shit like that just killed them. Awesome for UVA. This is also a crazy like stat. Like football is a superstitious sport. UVA has upset Florida State at home in 1995, 2005, and 2025. So like once a decade, they're liable to upset Florida State at home, which is fucking awesome.
What happened in 2015? We were so close to an all time.
I wonder if they even played that year.
Yeah, it could have been.
I don't think they played that year. That's probably why.
Well, dude, Vegas definitely had their eyes on that trend because that's why Florida State was only a 6.5 point favorite, and
We
we
touched on
kind of
that.
touched it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were like that line makes no sense. I want to hammer Florida. Turns out it was a rat line, like we kind of hinted at, and they won outright. It's crazy.
I don't want to go back to Pitt football too much, but if any sports book wants us to give picks, we hammered the Blue Hicks touchdown and the
Yeah,
Blue Hicks over.
That's true.
So simplify. If we weren't in PA, we'll be here for your picks on player props.
Well, I'm in Maryland, so hit me up.
in
uh,
Michigan, you can take that shit in Michigan.
huh. Interesting.
Yeah,
I have nothing else on this win. Good for UVA. I guess they're kind of legit in the ACC now. Florida State looks like another. I don't know how they beat the shit out of Alabama week 1 because their defense just looked like it couldn't stop a wet fart in this game, which was shocking to me. Um, I don't know, just something to keep an eye on, I guess. Moving into Saturday, we had Georgia Tech also in an overtime game survive against Wake Forest on the road, 30-29. Just was a weird game following that one because it was so close, so late. USC also losing to Illinois on a last second field goal. This is what USC does. They just lose to Big Ten teams in because they did this like 3 times last year. They had the Michigan game and the Maryland one. I remember because I was watching that live and I was like, they just love losing in horrible ways. Makai Lemon is great for USC. Everything else kind of sucks. But you know, it was hard to stay locked in on those games. I do want to say the rest of the day kind of delivered. LSU Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin wins against the guy who is you're banging my daughter. Um,
made him puke. Made him puke from the tempo.
that's right. No, their quarterback Trinidad Chambliss. That's a great story. He's a former D2 player, beat out. Frankly, you can't hand the starting job back to Simmons now. He's awesome. He's a great player. The last drive is all him, just icing the game. Sneaky. If I'm being honest here, I could see Ole Miss maybe win the SEC this year.
The SEC this year is the Big 12 from last year, where I think there's just going to be chaos because it's a really deep league. But I don't think there's Georgia approved they're not a juggernaut this year. Bama's not a juggernaut. I don't think Texas is that good. Like,
A&M is like fake good.
yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's going to be a ton of shaking up in there. But
Dude, with the SEC this year, I feel like it's a bunch of teams that are good, which is like all these teams that like, of course, their rankings are inflated, but like it's a bunch of teams I'd be comfortable saying they're going to be the number 12, anything from like 12 to 6 or 10 to 16 at the end of the year. Like Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, A&M, Mizzou. I guess we have to consider Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is 5-0. It would
yeah,
be awesome if Vanderbilt won the league. Oklahoma, like I think they're all good teams, but none of them are like you said. There's no dominant teams. The SEC is just it's a mess at the top. But
well, you remember, I think it was last year where we almost had like the full circle Big 12 moment where like you could complete the full circle of everybody beating everybody. Like, there's
I think
I know it didn't happen because like statistically it's really hard, and I don't even know if it's possible, but
it
um,
wasn't possible last year because Oklahoma State went winless in conference play. I'll tell you
that's
that
right.
much.
That's right. But it feels like we're gonna get some of those. Like, it might not happen again, but we're gonna be like, all right, watch out for this game. If that happens, we have the perfect storm that is SEC. But yeah,
It's gonna be a
would
big
love some chaos.
it's gonna be a big year for the tiebreakers, is what I'm gonna say. It's you're gonna
Yeah.
get down to some weird tiebreaker in the SEC rules for who goes to the championship game, and people are not gonna be happy about it. Is what I'll say. Um, Also, speaking of winless in conference play, Utah beat West Virginia 48-14.
They had like probably 5,000 students post halftime, or 5,000 people in that stadium post halftime, which like I no, it's hard to talk as a Pitt fan, but it was completely empty. Their stadium had all gone home.
Also, their quarterback Nico Marchiol is medically redshirting. So Nico Marchiol's West Virginia career is showing up in 2 games against Pitt, winning them both, and then dying.
To being
So
ass in every other game he's played.
it's awesome. It's really fun stuff being a Pitt fan. Uh, that's great. Tennessee escapes Mississippi State 41-34, another overtime game. A lot of overtime games here. Shout out to Virginia Tech, who won their first Power 5 game. They beat NC State 2 weeks after firing their coach, so good for them. But I mean, let's talk about the big. Do you want to go to SEC nighttime game or Big Ten game first?
What if we start SEC? Because I think,
Probably have some more to say on the Big Ten matchup. That's fair. Alabama 24, Georgia 21. This Georgia team, the Georgia team of like the dynasty years, is gone. That's my takeaway from this game. The defense didn't look good at all. I think Ty Simpson, who was terrible against Florida State, looked like he couldn't be stopped. And the Georgia defense is just not the same as it has been. Their offense is obviously much to be desired as well.
Why is Kirby Smart allergic to beating Alabama unless it's a national championship?
Well, it's funny you say that. I think he has something of not an allergy, but an addiction to
Okay.
a little guy named Cash Jones. Because Cash Jones, the white walk-on running back for Alabama, he had 2 carries in this game, both on 3rd or 4th down. Do you happen to know off the top of your head how many yards Cash Jones got on those 2 carries?
0 total.
Okay, we're going with 0. Ian, do you have an answer for this?
8.
Can I interest you in -7?
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
I saw the clip of the one. I saw the clip of the one toss play. That was I can't remember if that one was 3rd or 4th down, but not probably the best athlete you want to have take that kind of play. I don't know.
I think that was the 4th down one where he just gets absolutely stuffed like 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I also saw the stat today. I'm gonna butcher this, but in last season, Cash Jones, if you took out one running out against Clemson for 15 yards, he was averaging less than 1 foot per carry last year. And he's Georgia's like go-to gotta have it guy. It's like what are we doing here? It's
It's a game of inches, so a foot of play is not too bad.
yeah. Yeah, man. I don't. And it just goes to show. I think this is kind of the new normal for the SEC now. Like they used to have the deepest rosters in the sport, and now they're going to Cash Jones, the white walk-on running back. I guess Kirby probably is like he's a white walk-on, just like me. I get him his touches. Probably shouldn't be doing that. If I had to advise Kirby Smart, stop doing that. That's my advice to you. Let's talk wide out. Another overtime game. Oregon wins 30-24 in Happy Valley. And I got to say, this result made my Saturday a lot better. This was such a I have so much. Where do you even want me to start slandering here? You want to start with Franklin, Aller? Where do we start first?
I think you
I
gotta
love some
go.
Drew.
I think Aller.
I was gonna say
Okay.
I love some Drew Aller slander.
Okay, Drew Aller is the first ever quarterback to have Zoomer-style anxiety about pushing the ball downfield. He refuses, like he uncorked one ball and then he probably got like imposter syndrome. It was like, I can't throw the ball deep because like he refused to throw the ball more than like 10 yards down the field. He refuses to go and win a game. Outside of that one deep pass he had in the 4th, he was atrocious. He never sets his feet, so he's throwing balls like a fucking it's like the gyro ball that they used to have. It's like, oh, this pitch can break in 8,000 different directions based on the spin. That's what Drew Aller throws a football like. He's slightly better Phil Jurkovic and slightly less gunslinger Eli Holstein. Almost, if I'm looking at this through a Pitt lens, he's like the big traits. Like he's gonna be drafted the NFL based on traits, and he's gonna be fucking awful because he refuses to throw the ball downfield or put the ball in harm's way until he puts the ball in harm's way at the very like you can set your fucking watch to Drew Aller throwing the worst pick of all time. And not that any pick is good, but you think about the notable Drew Aller picks, right? Last year in the Ohio State game when they had a chance to take the lead, he throws that goal line interception. He throws an interception against Oregon in the Big Ten title game last year. Throws the back-breaking interception against Notre Dame in the college football playoff. And now a game-losing interception in double overtime against Oregon to lose it in the whiteout. In a game where they basically had all the momentum on their side, and then Drew Aller killed them in a moment. It's life as a Drew Aller hater. It's beautiful. It's so rewarding.
Yeah, and I touched on it last week too, but Bo Fabiola keeps balling. You know, another. I didn't even look at his stat line, but another good win for Mizzou. Um, yeah, I couldn't have handled the way the Pitt game ended, and then to see the Oregon game, to see Oregon lose in overtime would have just been a real tough Saturday. This was just a little nice little silver lining to end the day.
Per Beulah, by the way, 26 of 30 for 226 and a touchdown against UMass. Drew Aller, 19 for 35, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, took 3 sacks. That's like that's the Eli Holstein stat line.
Dude, you can't even do the like oh well Bo Pabrula has a better team around him. Like no, that the exact opposite probably. Like
This is like the most talented roster that I would like to switch to the James Franklin talk, or do we have more Aller?
go for
We
it.
can go right into James Franklin. Let's keep this train rolling.
Like, I think we talked about the offseason show. Like, Penn State, this is the best roster Franklin will probably ever have as a coach. And I'm not saying that he can't win the Natty and whatever, but like it's incredibly disappointing to see what he does. And we talk about like how he could ever win the big game, but like it seems like every single one of his coordinators do this. Like I don't know. I feel like the offense is still not great. Um, the play calling for them was even weirder because you saw like Aller what you mentioned about Aller throwing that post and like uncorking one. You're like, how can he not do that again? So there's a coaching aspect there where like you have to let him like the play calling seems like weird. And I think he might just be allergic to winning the big game. I mean we see the stats that come out like Owen whatever against top 25 team or the very bad record against top 25 teams hasn't won like his whiteout game in forever. Maybe they just stopped doing the whiteout. Maybe we stop having I can't say that.
They at least played the whiteout at night this time.
Yeah.
Didn't Dan Lanning say that was the crowd was a non-factor? Did I see that quote?
Dan Lanning was on coke during that game. You saw that?
What isn't he on coke? The video of him recruiting that one like 17-year-old and like jumping in the pool is one of the most like electric videos of all time.
His head was moving in ways that like his gums were showing. He's got his teeth baring. He was racked on that field. Of course, you're gonna say the crowd wasn't a factor. He could hear his own blood pumping through his skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. James Franklin, I think he's like 4-20 something against top 10 teams. It's embarrassing. I've come to the conclusion that James Franklin he's just Pat Narduzzi with a little bit of walking around money. They're both arrogant assholes. They always fuck up in big moments, and nobody likes them. So they're just the same guy.
At least James Franklin can recruit the Whippeal.
Yeah, because he has money. He has money.
Yeah, fair.
It's And the worst part about, if you're a Penn State fan, right? I would think you have to be sick of this shit of just losing the big game every single year in the same exact way, always fucking up. In the 12-team playoff era, unless Franklin totally biffs it and loses to both Ohio State and Indiana, which honestly he probably could. Indiana's looking really good. You can't fire him. He's gonna back his way into the playoff more years than not. So it's gonna be a tough call to try and fire him. He's also got a, you want to talk about bad buyouts. James Franklin's probably got one of like north of 50 million. So yeah, we've got a bad, but they've got a lot of money to move. They ever move off from James Franklin because he's probably gonna
Does
get another
does
raise
a
in this offseason.
you kind of touched on it there, Zach? Does a 3-loss Penn State team still squeak their way into the playoff if they keep it close against Ohio State and Indiana?
That is right now too early to call. Depends on the rest of the field. I could see a universe where that no, because
Dude,
I would
their
say
schedule otherwise is ridiculous.
I would say
Where do
there's
you
a
look at that? What's
chance.
their quality win? What's their quality win?
Well, I
At
mean,
Iowa?
yeah, the thing is, it's like they're gonna get the name brand bump. They're probably not gonna fall to the top 25 at all this season. It's really a matter of like if there are enough 2-loss teams, they're not gonna make it. If they have to choose the 3-loss team, and you're choosing a 3-loss team, like they're like it's a roll of the dice, and they could maybe get in, but they need to win one of those two, is what I'll say. They need to win one of those.
Yeah, to feel safe, I would agree.
Well, it's a good thing that last weekend was a good weekend of college football because this week is a week where you can go find something to do on Saturday. If you need to go, I don't
It's apple
know,
picking weekend.
apple picking, do something with your girlfriend, hang out with the family, clean your car, clean the house. I mean, if we're looking at this slate, right? There's a hate watch on Friday night of West Virginia going to BYU. That spread is up in the 20s for that West Virginia game. They think they're going to get killed. The noon slate on Saturday is terrible. You have like ranked teams playing teams that are beneath them. You know, Georgia, Kentucky, Cincinnati, and Iowa State, Illinois and Purdue, and Wisconsin and Michigan. None of those move the needle. Clemson and UNC, what was probably like a very highly anticipated game before this season started. That's a slop fest. I might hate watch that one just because whoever loses that game is the biggest loser of all time. Um, the noon slot is bleak. We got to put it there. 3 o'clock slot though. I mean, you've got Texas. No, Florida sucks. Sorry, Vanderbilt, Alabama at 3:30. That one, Diego Pavia is already talking his shit, and he's following the Castellanos model of if you talk shit, you're going to beat Alabama. So I think
Well,
they
he
fuck
Yeah, but
also
then
Vanderbilt
you
ranks.
lose one.
Well, Vanderbilt is 5-0, ranked 16th. I think they can do it again. I think Vanderbilt beating Alabama in back-to-back years would be the thing that college football needs. Because then, honestly, if Vanderbilt beats Alabama, I think they might be your SEC favorite. If I'm being totally honest, because you kind of got to give it to them. Who else do they play?
Yeah, I think like if that does happen, I mean, I don't think there's a more deserving team at the moment at this point in the season. I mean, it could always change down the road, but I think I'd have to agree with you.
Actually, Vanderbilt has a really tough schedule. Holy shit, I didn't realize this. They got Alabama this week. They get LSU at home, which they don't have an offense, but they're more talented than Vanderbilt. They get Missouri at home, who I'm very high on. They go to Texas, which they also don't really have an offense. Arch Manning is a moron. And then they end the season at Tennessee. If you're at Vanderbilt, you have to have this one. I'll be paying attention to this one. I want Vanderbilt to win. That would be awesome just for the program, and you love to see Alabama lose. Frankly, a good game that I won't watch. It'll make me mad. Virginia going to Louisville at 3:30 on ESPN2. It's going to be a good game. It's going to make me mad because if Louisville beefs it, I'll just I'll cry or something. But
24 ranked Virginia going to Louisville.
24 ranked Virginia, yeah.
When's the last time Cavaliers were ranked? I don't have this
Probably.
answer. It's a genuine question.
I think if I had to guess, it would be when Bronco Mendenhall was still there in 2019. Or no. They were ranked in 2020. I know they were ranked 2019 when they made the ACC championship on the other side of Clemson. They were like ranked like 19th or something. They might have been ranked in 21 when they were like the other team in the Coastal that was vying for the division title, but I'm less confident in that one. You can watch Michigan State, Nebraska. I won't. That's a bum
Christmas
fight outside a gas
Christmas
station.
matchup.
That's a Christmas match. Oh, Christmas matchup. Who you got?
Give me Nebraska. Give me Nebraska on a bounce back week.
I'm gonna take Michigan State because I think Raiola's a weirdo.
Fair.
Nothing else than that. The only other game, and this is a big one here in the ACC, Miami, Florida State, 7:30 on ABC. This is the only good game in the night slot. Straight up, nothing else here is really worth discussing. As it stands right now, I think Miami's probably going to roll them.
They're
Or
only
is,
4.5-point favorites.
or is this the game that starts the Miami decline that is eventually going to happen?
That's possible. That's possible. I also think that I don't know something about like Miami's. It's still early. They're still firing on all cylinders. They haven't left the state of Florida yet. They actually don't leave the state of Florida until November, which is crazy. I don't know. Their offense looks really good, and Miami's defense has looked fantastic, especially against South Florida and Florida in recent weeks. Like, I think that Castellanos has a penchant to be stupid, and they almost won at Virginia in spite of that. When you're playing Miami with Carson Beck with that rushing attack, like I think if you get a stupid Tommy Castellanos game, you're in for a much worse time against Miami than you are against Virginia. However, Deuce Robinson, their receiver number 0, is also fantastic, so they might, Gus Malzahn might just pull a rabbit out of his ass and make this a game. I can see this going pretty much either way. And you said, what was it, 4-point spread?
4.5. Miami 4.5.
I guess that makes sense, yeah. I mean, I would like it to be a game that close. I would hate for it to be, a dud of a Saturday.
Yeah. Did you see the clip of after Miami beat Florida last week, going up to the clips after games where when it's like an in-state rivalry, team wins, goes up to other teams' recruits and says, "We run this shit. We run Florida. Come to the U." That's just it scratches an itch in my brain that I love.
That's so good because like because that just I think one of my favorite parts about 13-9 is that you had West Virginia recruits like partying like with Pitt players after that upset. Like that shit is just so awesome when you're like, we just beat their ass. Why are you going to play for these bums? If Miami rolls here, we're going to see a lot of those clips.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like they have the potential to truly be like they kind of took off the only other threat of running Florida in Florida. If they just roll Florida State, they're going to be flipping some recruits.
Miami might not need that much help with it, considering they have the. I forget what their like crypto scam guy's name is. They have that guy in their NIL department. You know what? It can only help. They might not need the help.
Hawk Tua girl went to Miami.
Right, that's the show.
No. You're thinking of right?
Yeah.
That's Hawk Tua too. I gotta cut that. I cannot say that on a podcast. That is bad of me. Yeah, we're gonna end this show here. It's a slop week. Go have fun with your family. Thank you for listening to Simple 5 Podcast. I've been your host, Zach Kaminsky. It's been a pleasure. If you like the show, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on your podcast app of choice. Give us 5 stars. Give us a rating. Tell everybody in your life about us and get our juice those numbers, baby. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Hell to Pitt.
Hello, Pitt.